and thereby render that religion distinct from all other religious systems. All religions, however, continue to develop. But at the same time, they go to great lengths to show how these new manifestations of their faith are nevertheless grounded in those same scriptures produced centuries and even millennia ago. And this is no less true of Judaism. And in these lectures, we will set out to describe how the Jewish faith developed from its earliest biblical roots to the highly developed system of beliefs, of practices, and of laws that we encounter and recognize today as the religion of the Jewish people. Our lectures will also attempt to explain how Judaism was able to survive and even flourish over thousands of years, notwithstanding the frequent challenges, sometimes very violent challenges, that often threatened its very existence. We will do this by examining the formative stages of Judaism, when some of its central ideas and beliefs were shaped and then put into literary form. We will then proceed to identify the unique aspects of the Jewish religion, its success at adapting to new realities, and that will be a key word in our lectures, adaptability, and Judaism's willingness, within certain limits, to accept diversity within its ranks. Our discussions will also pay close attention to the efforts made by Jewish leaders at the formative stage to render both the knowledge and the practice of Judaism accessible to broad segments of the Jewish community. And again, accessibility will be a key word, because not all religions rendered access to the adherents of the faith. There were often walls that separated the adherents from their central temple and cult. We will also see that accessibility even rendered Judaism sometimes open and accepting to widespread non-Jewish circles as well. Throughout history, Jews have identified their roots in the Hebrew Bible, which is known by Christians as the Old Testament. In this book, they could read about their tribal origins and ultimate development into a nation. They could locate the major tenets of their faith. And also, they would encounter a legal system that presented the nation with an all-embracing corpus of requisite behavior. The Bible was deemed to be endowed with divine authority. And while all subsequent generations would submit the Bible to sweeping interpretations and adaptations and rereadings, at no time was the Bible relegated to anything less than the ultimate source of all Jewish existence. Given this critical role of the Bible in the shaping of Judaism, we must ask, how is it that the beliefs and practices of Jews today, even among its most zealous adherents, appear to be so radically different from the major guidelines of the biblical faith? And let me give you a few examples. For instance, the Bible mandates that the worship of God be conducted through an elaborate system of sacrifices, a system that requires the slaughtering of animals and their offering through burning on an altar. Later on, that altar will be placed in a temple. And yet for almost 2,000 years, Jews have totally refrained from any such sacrificial worship. How do they reconcile themselves to this radical difference? Let's cite another example. According to the Bible, any decentralization of the biblically prescribed cult was expressly prohibited, and worship was to be conducted only in one sanctified location, which ultimately was designated as a temple in Jerusalem. Yet here again, for 2,000 years, Jews have worshipped in synagogues. And there are absolutely no geographical restrictions preventing the establishment of these religious centers, synagogues, wherever a Jewish community might be located. So we have an almost radical decentralization in post-biblical times as opposed to a very highly stressed centralization in the biblical period. Again, how do Jews understand this radical shift? The most visible form of
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.